Hello, Internet. How are we doing this evening? Hope everybody's having a fantastic Tuesday. The RGS, nice to see you. Let's see. Let's make sure we're live on all the platforms. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody's having a good one. Looks like we've got some border news, don't we? Well, things that are results of our wide open border. Yeah, I'm feeling a little black-pilled today, you guys. I'll be honest with you. I'm not my normal chipper self. I wasn't even going to do a show today, but there's just too much going on that we have to talk about. I'm only going to try to go for an hour tonight. I hope I don't go over, but I usually do. But yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's the whole Tyson Foods thing. You've got judges saying that it's okay for illegal immigrants to carry firearms, which is insane to me, and everybody's freaking out about it. But I think we should be looking at this maybe a little bit differently. Now, no, the RGS, our border should be secure. That's first and foremost. But if illegal immigrants have the right to carry, and California is a sanctuary state for illegal immigrants, doesn't that mean I have the right to carry now? And illegal immigrants can't get a concealed carry permit, but judges have they've said they can carry. Does that mean I can carry without a permit? I think they've opened Pandora's box with this one, folks. So we'll get into it. Lots of stuff to talk about. If you're here and you want to give the show a thumbs up, it is very helpful. It helps the algorithm. If you want to leave a comment, all that kind of stuff. Share with a friend. Reposts if you're watching over on Twitter. That stuff is always helpful. And if you want to jump in the chat, talk to me. It helps my self-esteem if you do that. So I would love to hear from you on whatever platform that you happen to be watching on. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into some stuff, shall we? Because yeah, I want to get it through everything tonight, and I don't want to go too long. So let's talk about. I think we're going to talk about the Tyson Foods thing first. So it's not that long of an article. This is over here from Newsmax. Oh no, this is from Just the News. So yeah, Tyson Foods, they closed that plant over in Iowa, and now it appears that they are looking to hire 42,000 immigrant workers. And well, that's insane to me, but let's check it out. We got an article I want to read here. All right, let's get right into it. So Tyson Foods closes Iowa plant but looks to hire 42,000 immigrant workers. Tyson Foods said it would like to hire 42,000 immigrant workers to fill positions just 2 days after the company announced it would close a plant in Iowa that employed about 1,200 people. Tyson is joining a tent partnership for refugees, a nonprofit that works to get refugees hired. Refugees, you guys. Refugees from what? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. And it plans on hiring at least some of the more than 180,000 migrants who have gone through New York City's intake system over the past 2 years, Bloomberg reports last week. Oh, is it starting to make sense? Is the Great Replacement thing really not such a far-fetched idea? I mean, they're replacing us as voters. They're replacing us as workers. I said earlier, AI is going to replace the upper middle class, and illegal immigrants are going to replace the middle class and the poor. It's kind of starting to seem that way. About 42,000 of Tyson's 120,000 U.S. employees are immigrants, and Garrett Dolan, who is in charge of the company's efforts to overcome barriers to employment, includes immigration status, said would like to employ another 42,000 if we could. They keep saying immigrants. 42,000 of Tyson's 120,000 U.S. employees are immigrants. What do you mean? Are they illegal immigrants or are they immigrants? Like, did they come here from the UK? I don't think they came from the UK. I don't think that's the case. Legally and got citizenship. Okay. Following the Bloomberg report, Tyson stressed that it only hires people who are legally authorized to work in the United States. Well, the San Francisco police force does that as well. The San Francisco police force, you don't have to be a United States citizen. You just have to be legally authorized to work. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean they're citizens. It doesn't even mean that they came here legally. We have a history of strong hiring practices, and anybody who is legally able to welcome. I'm sorry. We have a history of strong hiring practices, and anybody who is legally able is welcome to apply for open job listings, the company said. According to Fox Business, Tyson Foods is strongly opposed to illegal immigration, and we led the way in partnering with two major government programs to help employers combat unlawful employment: E-Verify and Mutual Agreement Between Government and Employers Image Program. Meanwhile, the company said on Monday of last week that it would like to permanently close a pork plant in Perry, Iowa, which would result in the elimination of about 120 jobs per Reuters. So is this being sensationalized, guys? Were they going to close this plant down anyway, and they just happen to be hiring all these people in New York? I don't know. I don't think it's sensationalized at all. Sure, I mean, are they trying to do stuff for clicks? Yeah, everybody wants people to click on their articles, but I mean, are they hiring people that came here illegally? It certainly seems like they are. So yeah, that's happening. Danger. Nice to see you. All right. Yeah, let's keep going. Again, I only want to go for about an hour tonight because I'm feeling black-pilled. It's just insane to me. So, all right, yeah, let's go over to this Newsmax article now. So, federal judge declares illegal immigrants can carry guns. This one is spicy because it's sort of driving a wedge into the 2A community, but I don't really think it has. In a ruling that had both proponents and opponents of the Second Amendment do a curious double take, a federal judge has ruled that an illegal immigrant was wrongly banned from possessing firearms. So this verbiage is what's confusing me. Does this mean they're allowed to have one in their domicile, or are they saying that illegal immigrants can carry firearms? If they're saying that, then they've opened Pandora's box, and anyone can carry now without a CCW. Also, illegal immigrants can't legally purchase firearms, at least in California, with the ID requirements that you need. That you got to have a real ID and some other proof of verification. Like, I don't have a real ID. I refuse to get one, so I have to bring my birth certificate when I get a gun. And that's to buy ammo too. It's insane. I got to bring my driver's license. I might even have to bring like a bill. I think I do. I think I have to bring like a PG&E bill too, and my birth certificate. So U.S. District Court Judge Sharon Johnson Coleman ruled on March 8th that a defendant, Heriberto, I'm butchering that name, I'm sorry, Heriberto Carbajal Flores, who is residing in the United States illegally, had his Second Amendment rights violated when prosecutors originally charged him with 18 U.S.C. 922, which bars illegal immigrants from carrying guns or ammunition. Oh, this is getting spicy. So, I mean, that would mean that they have all the same rights that we do, right? All the same rights under the Constitution. Or is it if it specifically mentions United States citizens in the Constitution? I would imagine that's what it is. But, you know, I was talking about an article a couple of days ago where the illegal immigrants in Honduras that are getting arrested for dealing tranq under the guise of fentanyl, saying that they're selling fentanyl, but they're actually dealing tranq, they are getting arrested with guns and stuff as well. And they're not being deported. They're not being arrested. Anyway, the non-citizen possession statute 18 U.S.C. 922 G5 violated the Second Amendment right applied to Carbajal Flores. Coleman, writing in her ruling, thus the court grants Carbajal Flores motion to dismiss. Okay. The defense team for Carbajal Flores has argued that their recent motion that the government could not show the law referenced was part of the historical tradition and delimits the outer bounds of the right to keep and bear arms. In 2022, the Supreme Court ruled that the government must show that each regulation is consistent with the nation's historical tradition of firearms regulation. It's insane this is happening at the same time that all these cases from Rob Bonta in California are in the Ninth Circuit, right now. There's cases for magazine restrictions. We're only allowed to have 10-round magazines here in California. You can't buy them. There's restrictions for how many weapons you could buy in a 30-day period. They have this thing where you're only supposed to be able to buy one gun per 30-day period, which is insane. There's a bunch of other ones too. Like the pistol grip thing is one of the pistol grip and the 10-round magazine are the ones that bug me the most. And the fact that it's really, really hard to get your CCW. Well, it's not anymore. We'll keep going. The precise wording of the High Court's decision was enough for the defense to argue successfully in favor of dismissal. Lifetime disarmament of an individual based on alienage or nationality alone does not have the roots in history or tradition of the United States, Carbajal Flores lawyers said. The government argues that Carbajal Flores is a non-citizen who is unlawfully present in the United States, the court notes. However, that Carbajal Flores has never been convicted of a felony, a violent crime, or a crime involving the use of a weapon. Is coming here illegally a felony? So he just hasn't been convicted. Okay. Even it brings me back to the Honduran fentanyl dealers in San Francisco. Like all of this stuff I'm looking at through the eyes of a Californian and what California legislators are doing with California gun owners and what's being allowed on the streets of California. Even in the present case, Carbajal Flores contends that he received and used the handgun solely for his protection and protection of property during a time of documented civil unrest in the spring of 2020. Okay. How did you get the gun? Where did you purchase the gun from? Did you get it legally? And I don't think there should be background checks on guns. You guys will hate. Well, some of you guys won't. I don't like tons of our gun laws. The ruling has promoted a large range of reactions across the legal and Second Amendment community. Writing on the reload, attorney Matthew Lorisor agreed that the decision saying that even those in the country illegally are part of the people. The framers mentioned in the Second Amendment to find that illegal immigrants are outside of the people protected by the Second Amendment. You must believe that the framers are not talking about different people in the First, Fourth, Ninth, and 10th Amendments. Okay, that's spicy, but I mean, I'm still not clear whether this says he can carry the firearm like anywhere he pleases. California has all these things too. They've tried to make it. What they did with concealed carry people is they're like, okay, now that we have to give everybody concealed carry permits, because they do now. Now there's no. California used to have a thing called shall issue and may issue states. Shall issue counties were like, if you apply for a concealed carry permit, you'd get it. And those were the more red counties, like Shasta County, for example. Now, Santa Clara County, San Francisco County, Alameda County, good effing luck. There's no way you're going to get it. They are considered a may issue county, which meant they were only going to issue you a firearm if you're a politician, a high-level celebrity, or a super-duper rich person. It's the only way you were going to get a firearm. Well, now what they've done, since the Supreme Court has ruled shall issue counties unconstitutional, and now all of them, may issue counties unconstitutional. Now all of them are shall issue counties. What they've done is they've made tons of places off limits to carry a firearm, pretty much everywhere. Any sort of public building, parks, anywhere. They've made anywhere illegal to carry a firearm. So now it's almost worse because technically you're not allowed to carry your firearm like anywhere in California. That'll get overturned as well. But as they make these laws, they just bounce back and forth in the courts forever. And we're just stuck in limbo. And we're not allowed to have firearms, carry firearms, 10-round magazines, barrel length, the stupid fin on my AR that I have. It's super frustrating. And the only remedy I see to this is all these laws get thrown out and constitutional carry becomes the law of the land in California. And if this ruling stays and it means that illegal immigrants can carry firearms, that from the way I'm looking at this, all sanctuary states are now constitutional carry states. If an illegal immigrant can carry a firearm, then so can I. Why would that should be the way this is interpreted? And that's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. But yeah, I'm not going to give anybody advice here, but well, yeah, I am. I think all unconstitutional laws should not be followed. All right, let's see here. Let's check it on the chat. They're even saying carry them. Danger. Yeah, I'm curious about this. Like what? Yeah. So Eric, yeah, how can they pass a background check? Well, they can't legally obtain a firearm. Like with all of the rules that are in place, especially in California, they can't go to a gun store and get a firearm. They don't have the required documentation or a social security number. They can't get it. I don't know. This is dicey. Danger. Not sure if this is the same one I was reading where he killed someone with a gun and the judge found him not guilty. No. That's a different one. That's just the guy that got released and the judge found him not guilty because he was in fear of his. Didn't he kill a cop? Wasn't it a cop too? Danger. I think that was a cop. Look at that one. It's not the same case, but yeah, that guy that got released, the judge found him not guilty because he didn't speak English and he thought the cop was a threat to his life. Like that one's insane too. But look that one up. Send it to me if you got it, and I'll read it so we're not spreading misinformation. Because Ketanji Brown Jackson thinks that the government should be able to stop us from doing that. One gun in 30 days just got struck down. Also, yeah, I was looking at all these cases from the Firearms Policy Coalition. They're doing a lot of good work right now. Nate Pickens, did the judge say anything about carrying though? My impression was that it was purely about possession. That's what seems to be unclear. But from what I'm seeing, it's carrying. Yeah, it's not just possessing. Like, okay, I mean, what if an illegal immigrant is homeless? And yeah, so I would like to know on the case, did they find, was the guy walking around? And I'm pretty sure it's carrying. So I'll find out more about it and I'll get back to you guys. If you guys want to look into it in the chats, let me know. But it seems to me this is about carrying firearms, not openly, but concealed. Danger, one gun in 30 days. Just got struck down also. Nice. Yeah, I saw that. Gavin Newsom was crying about it. They also contribute to this also contributes to the argument to justify counting aliens for population, counting rehouse. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. Yeah, freaking stuff's insane right now, you guys. I can't believe all this stuff's happening. Well, it is. Oh, crap, I forgot to put my phone on silent. Hopefully nobody calls me during the show. Hold on. Let me put my phone on silent because when somebody calls me, it interrupts. It's linked up to my MacBook, so the whole computer takes it over. All right, there we go. Okay, let's keep going, guys. All this border stuff is insane. Okay, it's oh yeah, so Tyson Foods isn't the only one that's hiring tons of illegal immigrants. So it's insane to me. I mean, if this whole thing's insane to me. Okay. So this is from Ann Vandersteel. She says, heartbreaking news. These 28 major companies have quietly been gearing up to hire and support massive influx of illegal aliens Joe Biden has treasonously brought into our country. Amazon, Tyson Foods, Blackstone, Pepsi, Pfizer, okay, Delta, Chobani, Uber, Airbnb, Facebook, Google, Microsoft, Kraft, Heinz, Hilton Marriott International, Cargill, Gate Group, ISS, I don't know what that is, Hyatt, IBM, the AA, Adecco Group, the Big Table Group, Unilever, UNIQLO, Virgin Visa, Manpower Group. Guys, these entities knew this was coming all along while we were the people who were kept in the dark. Well, that may be. So yeah, all those companies are also hiring illegal immigrants, it seems. So let's keep going here. All right. Now there's this whole thing going on where I'll play this one first, actually. So over in New York, do you guys see about this woman that a woman gets arrested for squatters for trying to remove squatters from her house? Scarlett, stop that. Hey, stop that. Dirty animal. Yeah, she inherited her family's home in Flushing, Queens, after her parents passed away, and was in the process of selling it when she noticed that someone illegally moved in. After she changed the lock, the squatters came back, and the police arrested her in accordance with New York landlord-tenant law. So this plays into the whole illegal immigrant situation. These are not illegal immigrants that took over her house. It does not appear to be so, but I'll show you guys how it plays into that whole situation in a minute here. So let's watch this quick video. It's about 4.5 minutes.
You be trying to steal my house. Yes, you are.
How about that? A squatter standoff. A property owner confronts a group of people she says moved into her $1 million home in Queens, and our cameras were rolling as dozens of officers showed up.
Several people were taken away in handcuffs, and one of those arrested may surprise you.
Investigative reporter Dan Krauth joins us now with more on what happened. Tell us, Dan.
Well, this is a very big growing problem. I received dozens of tips from viewers about this in just the past week. I went to do what I thought was going to be a routine interview. Instead, we capture what police and property owners are dealing with on a daily basis.
I have video of you.
Who are these people?
Figure out the situation.
Yeah, but they're in my house, man.
Relax.
No.
To understand how this day ended,
We need the police right away.
with multiple 911 calls and arrests, we have to start at the beginning.
Adele, the hardest question is, how do you say your name?
We met Adele Andaloro outside the home her parents left her in Flushing, Queens. She's in the process of selling it,
No, he locked it.
but she's been locked out. She claimed squatters moved in on February 6th and refused to leave.
What's it like being here knowing you can't go inside of your own home?
It's enraging. It really is.
In New York, squatters have rights after 30 days.
By the time that someone does their investigation and they do their work and their job, we'll be well over the 30 days, and this man will have stolen my home. And now she's back.
Just after wrapping up our interview, a woman showed up.
What are you doing in the house? Are you renting this house? Why are you here?
She unlocked the front door, saw our cameras, and took off.
It's open. Let's go in the house. It's open.
Adele and her daughter, with the property deed in hand, went inside.
This is my furniture. These are my curtains.
She didn't just find her belongings.
So there's another situation like this going on up in Seattle. There's a bunch of situations like this where squatters have insane rights. All they have to do is prove that they've been living there for more than 30 days. So if they put something in their name, or they put the PG&E in their name, or the electricity, whatever it is in other states. If they put the electricity in their name and they've been paying it for more than a month, then according to police, it's a civil matter, and it can take years to get your home back. This is going on up in Seattle as well. I would imagine California has similar insane laws, squatters' rights kind of crap. And yeah, this stuff's insane. This is the cops that are arresting her. I mean, how do you sleep at night? It's each day laws become more weaponized against people, and criminals are allowed to get away with more and more things. And it has the phrase annoys me because Tim Pool says it so much, but anarcho-tyranny. It's the laws are used to subjugate law-abiding citizens for the most part. They're used to subjugate them and extract money from them for super petty reasons. Like people are still getting parking tickets in San Francisco, but you can put a tent on the sidewalk and shit and piss everywhere. But if you stay in a parking spot more than 5 minutes past the meter, guaranteed those meter maids are going to be on you. But if you take that same exact parking spot, you put a tent in it, or better yet, you put a broken down car in it, and then somebody's living out of it, they're not going to ticket that person because they know that person can't pay. They're not going to get the car towed away. But working class people in San Francisco, if you're working up in Pacific Heights, you got to come out and move your car every 2 hours. It's insane working in Pacific Heights. It messes up your whole workday. You have to charge the customer more money because you have way more downtime, because every 2 hours you got to leave the job site, go over to your work van or work truck, and it's a big truck. So now you got to drive around all over the place trying to find parking, and that can take an hour. It's taken me an hour sometimes. It's so unproductive working in San Francisco. And again, they enforce all these laws just so they can extract money from the middle class, the poor, to recoup their losses essentially. Meanwhile, they're allowing this. It's insane. I would imagine these same types of things are enforced or are allowed in California. California has some sort of insane squatters' rights rules. But all right, we'll continue.
Inside.
There's a man sleeping right there. Get out of my house.
She found 2 men.
How long have you lived here?
I moved in about 2 days ago.
They've called the police on me, and I've called the locksmiths. I didn't come in illegally. The door was open.
Police started interviewing neighbors and looking.
You didn't that she's got a job. I didn't come into my own home illegally. The door was open. Like the hoops that she has to jump through. This is her home. Her home. It's
for documents.
Do you have something that shows that you've been here for more than 30 days?
They took the man who told me he had been renting for 2 days out in handcuffs
They got one out.
and escorted the other guy off the property.
if that guy would have said, I moved in 40 days ago. If he would have said that, they wouldn't have been able to arrest him. That guy screwed up.
Now you're afraid to come out.
I'm not coming out. This house is empty. This is my home. My locksmith is on the corner waiting to change my locks. And it's not fair. It's not fair that I, as the homeowner, should be having to go through this.
How you doing?
Minutes later, a locksmith showed up, but police gave her a warning before they left.
I may end up in handcuffs today if this man shows up here and says that I have illegally evicted him. I said to them, let him take me to court the way I've been told to take him to court. But today, I'm not leaving my house.
Less than 10 minutes after police left and the locks were changed,
That's not going on.
the man who claims to be the one actually leasing the house shows up.
Call the police again.
What a scumbag. He forced his way in. I mean, this type of thing is going to turn bloody. Like the things that politicians and legislatures and judges and district attorneys are allowing people to get away with, the people are going to start fighting back very soon, very, very soon. And now that they've set precedent for anyone that came here illegally to arm up, it's going to get real wild real fast. Everybody's just thinking, for some reason, everybody has it in their mind, because we're all used to people just coming here illegally from Mexico. You know, they're our neighbors, and that's what we're used to. But now you've got tons of potential CCP members coming here. You've got people from Iran. You've got people from all sorts of countries, all sorts of countries that hate us coming here. And now a judge has ruled that they can all have firearms. They still can't legally purchase them, but they can all have firearms. They are setting it up for a very bad scenario, and people are going to start fighting back. And if they tried to rule that overnight a bunch of guns are illegal, and they decided to actually have people go door to door to try and confiscate firearms, that's when it will get bloody. Guaranteed. People are not just going to hand over their firearms, and there's going to be standoffs and gunfights. I don't think cops will have the balls to go do it, personally. I mean, they might in some cities and stuff like that, but like I said last night, go to Appalachia and try and take everybody's guns away. See how that works out. It's not going to work out well. There will be blood. All right, let's keep going.
With the other guy, police took off the property.
Do you see this? This guy just literally broke down my door, broke through myself and my daughter to get in here. This guy just forced himself into my house. Yes, he did. And so did you. You broke through the front door.
The man called the police on her.
So why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. We need to go to court.
They consider this a landlord-tenant issue. And by law, it has to be handled through the housing court, not with police.
If you own this house, you would not want her inside.
I don't own it.
Exactly,
Yes.
she does.
Yes, but then once again, you should know how the law works.
I do know how it works.
There's rules to the.
his argument is basically just, yeah, I'm a piece of shit, but the laws say that I'm allowed to be a piece of shit and just take this woman's home over. And he's getting all mad and angry about it. This dude's, man, I can't say on air what I would do if I was this woman. He's got to leave sometime, and there would be repercussions. This dude's out of his mind. Like, how can you seriously have the balls to do this to anybody? I mean, this dude should leave before he gets hurt. I'm sure this lady knows people.
As you got to go to court and send me to civil court.
He says he signed a lease in October, but wouldn't tell us with who.
I got proof longer than that.
Show us the proof.
But who are you for me to show? I showed it to cops.
Dan with Channel 7 News. If you don't want to show it, you don't want to show it.
Proof. Come here, brother. I like that.
I would like to see it.
He didn't show me a lease.
This is a bill.
A bill for work he says he had done to the house. He didn't show police a lease either.
The police department doesn't have the lease?
No.
He's got no documentation.
He didn't sign a lease. He just saw a vacant house, broke in. The work he had done is probably the damage that he caused when he broke into the house. That's probably the work that he had done. And that's his proof that he's been there for more than 30 days. This is insane. This guy, the audacity of this guy, the balls on this guy. I mean, he's got to leave sometime, and he's got knees.
Just bills.
So Adele, you're getting arrested right now?
I'm being arrested
For what?
for being in my own home.
And
See, so I don't how this cop right here sleeps at night. I don't know. Like, if you're a police officer and you know that you are arresting the person that did nothing wrong. This is her home. She's being screwed over by the system, and she's getting arrested. Meanwhile, this dirtbag back here is allowed to do. He can cause tons of damage to her home too. I mean, he's just going to do whatever he wants in there. You are now a Gestapo brown shirt. You're not enforcing the law. You are being a tyrant is what you're doing. You're a jackboot thug at this point. Quit your job. How do you do this? It's like Border Patrol agents. With everything that's going on right now, how can you be a Border Patrol agent? You're a jackboot thug, and you're a human trafficker. You're part of the problem. These cops right here make me sick. These cops to me are disgusting.
And where's your lease?
She's fighting the house. It's not her house anymore.
My deed is.
It's not her house anymore. Yeah. This dude's legs need to be no longer working.
Current and legal.
Arrested for unlawful eviction. She changed the locks on a man who claims he lives there.
So how does this all end then? When do you leave?
The way it ends is either she pays me my money that I put into the house, pay me the money, and I'll leave, or send me to court, and we deal with the judge in court. It's that simple.
It's not that simple. It's a long process. Eviction can take close to 2 years to complete.
Okay. Oh, man, that makes me angry. She has no recourse. Yeah, Michael Letter's beyond insane. Danger. They struck down the sensitive spaces as well. So okay, the Ninth Circuit. But again, it's just the Ninth Circuit strikes it down. So now what? What's the next step now? When does all this stuff get up to SCOTUS? Because I still can't go to, my local gun store and buy a 30-round magazine. Like, that's insane too. It's 10 rounds. They call anything over 10 rounds high capacity. Standard capacity magazines are 30 rounds. That's what's always come with ARs or AKs. The gun roster as well. California has a gun roster so it's even pistols that you can't have more than 10 rounds in. And it's something. So in California, if you can't pull the trigger on your firearm if the magazine's not in it. You can't have a firearm without a magazine, drop a round into the chamber, rack it, and fire that single round because of the way firearms in California have to be designed differently. I'm not a gun expert too, so I might be getting little aspects of that wrong. Maybe you can help me, Lonnie. Sorry, I just doxed you. Danger. Tried doing that in Texas at one of my brother's rental properties. Well, I'm sure Texas doesn't have those same laws. And Yeah, I have another. There's another example of this going on up in Seattle. This needs to stop. Over litigating is disgusting. Yeah. Yeah, super annoying. All right, let's keep going here. So this is why I said the illegal immigrant situation plays into this. So this dude apparently has like 30,000 followers. So here, let's read the caption. So this dude's from Mexico. So a Mexican TikToker who has over 30,000 followers tells his followers, if you see an empty house in America, you can squat in it. There is a law that you can just squat in it. So he seems like a nice fellow, though, doesn't he, guys? I don't know if there's subtitles with this. Oh. Oops.
So I'm going. So this illegal from TikTok is back, spreading a message that you guys won't believe. Now he's speaking in Spanish like this. So I'm going to read the subtitles for you. Let's get right to the video. My people have thought about invading a house in the United States because I learned that there.
Well, he called himself an invader. He said he's invading. I didn't say it. Well, I did earlier, but he's agreeing with me.
Is a law that says that if a house is not inhabited, we can expropriate it. Northern hoods here in the United States.
Actually, you know what? I've seen this going on in Chicago too.
Terrain deformation also applies. And I think that will be my next business. Invade abandoned houses. Since I have searched for some codes with my African friends and they told me that they already have about 7 expropriated houses. And as the saying daddy says, you have to look for the way back and forth right now. Is to invade houses since we are in a street situation and it is the only way we have to avoid living on the street and not be a public burden.
He doesn't care about being a public burden. So you said earlier, who said that? Talking about Texas. Let's see. Michael Letter tried to, yeah, you're the one that said trying to do it. Yeah, trying to do that. One of my brother, Texas, and one of my brother's rental properties. They might. They might. And that's what I'm saying when I say that things will eventually get bloody, because there's homeowners who are going to be like, okay, all right. I mean, this is my livelihood anyway. This is my rental property. It's like, imagine a tenant moves out and you got like a month in between where you got to do some repairs to the house, all that kind of stuff. And you're gone for 2 days or whatever. And you come back and there's a family living there, or there's just some dude that's living there and running it as like a trap house. I mean, there's people, and they try to get the cops involved. The cops won't kick them out, and it's your only source of income or something like that. There's people that will get violent to remove those people, and that's what this dude is advocating for here. So this is going to get wild. This guy seems like a nice, young, upstanding gentleman, though, doesn't he?
So y'all heard that, right? So your man right here that has over 300,000 TikTok followers told his compadres, his amigos, hey, if you see an empty house or a building, just go inside of it and stay in there. That's U.S. law, is what he told them. So expect to see a lot more of that happening. Expect to also, at some point in the very near future, expect to see illegals trying to kick in your door and take your money, your food, your water, and rob you, That's coming. But anyway, I'm done talking about it. Y'all drop a comment. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
It's crazy. Hell in a handbag, folks. Hell in a handbag. All right, let's go over to Wall Street Apes here. Let's see. So over in New York again, illegal immigrants protest in the streets of New York illegal immigrants protest in the streets of New York for being forced to move locations. Migrants are refusing to get on buses that take them to another four-star hotel. They're tired of being moved and want a permanent home. Remember, and Gavin Newsom is offering first-time homeowner loans for illegal immigrants here in California. They're making it easier for illegal immigrants in California to get a first-time homeowner loan than it is for me. I've never owned a home. It's always sort of been my dream to own a home, and it's starting to look like that's never going to happen for me. I can't even get employment in California because of my opinions, and you guys know all that. I won't complain about that. They chant, "We want a permanent home. This is unjust." Illegal migrants are now protesting in the streets due to being moved from a Manhattan hotel. Migrants are refusing to get on buses that take them to another four-star hotel, stating that they are tired of moving and that they want a permanent home. Some migrants refusing to get on board the bus to Brooklyn, saying they are tired of the constant moving and chanting they want a permanent home. Okay, you've already said that 3 times, Wall Street Apes. This is getting all right. I'm just gonna play the video because it's getting annoying. I like Wall Street Apes, but he always just like takes all of the exact words in the video and he just puts them in quotes and then posts it. So let's watch this.
Migrants are now protesting in the streets due to being moved from a Manhattan hotel.
This is the 3rd time that Adams tries to create a detention center for migrants. The first one was at Orchard. The second one was at Randolph, and the third one right now is.
People that are wearing masks now, they're not doing it because they're scared of COVID. They're doing it to not be identified. What's crazy is with this whole situation, you've got tons of illegal immigrants, and you know where all of them are. The biggest problem with Trump getting into office, I've said this before, the biggest problem with Trump getting into office and having some sort of mass deportation campaign, there's no way to do it without expanding the government massively. And I don't want that. So I was thinking the best way to do it would just be stop the welfare state altogether, but stop it particularly for illegal immigrants. No more welfare state, no more handouts, no more nothing. And you put it out there that if you get busted for even a misdemeanor, you get caught jaywalking, you're gone. You're immediately deported. You put that out there, people are just going to start leaving on their own because they know that they're not going to have any assistance or anything to fall back on. And also, they'll be encouraged to leave because, like, if we get caught breaking even the slightest law, we don't even know exactly what the laws are, they're going to deport us. So it's better for us to leave under our own power. Well, in this situation, you don't even need that. You know where all of them are. You don't need to expand the government. They're already all rounded up. They're already in one hotel. You could take existing ICE officers, local police, sheriffs, feds if you want, and you don't need to round them up. You don't need to expand the government at all. It doesn't take any extra money. Take the resources that you have and put them to work. They wanted to be shady about it. You'd be like, yeah, we're taking you guys to somewhere really nice this time. I swear, it's really nice. It just happens to be your old country that you came here from, because we're not taking you anywhere nice in America. You're gone. And they don't need to round them up. They don't need the Gestapo brown shirt approach. They already know where all of them are. And a lot of them that were given cell phones, it should be pretty easy to track. So you don't need to expand the government to do that either. If you know all of their locations, it's going to take some time, but this situation here, how many is that? It's hundreds of them. You could just deport them. That's solution, problem solved. Just deport them. You could do it. They're all illegal immigrants. Deport them.
Migrants are refusing to get on buses that take them to another 4-star hotel, stating that they are tired of moving and that they want a permanent home.
Some migrants refusing to board the bus to Brooklyn, saying they are tired of the constant moving and chanting they want a permanent.
Danger, your rifle will fire a round without a magazine in it. Yeah, so will mine, but your handgun won't. Now watch, none of your handguns will. Like, I always think of the scene in Breaking Bad. Do you know what scene I'm talking about? Where those two twin brothers are attacking what's his name? The bald cop dude, Walter White's brother-in-law, and they're coming after him, and he's out. He doesn't have a magazine in his gun, and he sees the one hollow point just sitting on the ground, and he drops it into the chamber racks it, and then fires. That your gun in California won't do that. From my understanding, again, you got a ton of you guys know way more about firearms than I do. I'm still a newbie.
Permanent home.
This protest was met with criticisms from commenters, many of them stating that the migrants are entitled and ungrateful, and that the funds used to house migrants should be used to house homeless Americans.
Oh, what a novel idea. Yeah. So, yeah, if you're going to have socialism, I mean, I don't agree with socialism at all, but if you're going to do the whole socialism thing, it would be much cooler if you did it for Americans, particularly veterans. It's insane.
But what do you think about this? Do you agree with the migrants or do you agree with the commenters? Comment your opinion on...
Come on. You know everybody agrees with the commenters. This is insane what they're doing, especially in New York. Okay, so this is another one from Wall Street Apes. And this is a person, independent journalist, sneaking inside the back of the Roosevelt Hotel in New York City. Illegal immigrants intake room, the Roosevelt Hotel in Manhattan, New York City. There doesn't appear to be a single woman or child in this footage. That's the thing, too, is you've got a ton of fighting age males. And I've talked about it in other shows. I've done whole shows on this, but this does very clearly seem to be orchestrated by the UN and the federal government. The immigration that's happening, the huge caravans that are coming here, all in brand new clothes, freshly shaven and clean, all that kind of stuff. This isn't organic. They're not just like figuring out how to do this on their own. This is being organized by the UN, and people are flooding the border. Hello? Like, it's by design, you guys. It's very clearly by design. And we're getting to a point where politicians seem to have to answer to the press less and less, and the press are all bought and paid for by intelligence agencies, it seems. So you only get the only time you ever get a real question to high-level politicians is when you ambush them. It's when some independent journalist catches them off guard and asks them questions, and you can see how uncomfortable they look. They never have to answer for all this stuff. So if somebody says, "Hey, federal government, are you guys intentionally flooding our country with illegal aliens?" They're like, "No," when they very clearly are. This is very clear. We don't have a border. We have a processing center. It's human trafficking. It's flooding our country with replacement workers. All this stuff is insane, and it's by design, and it's actually happening, and politicians don't have to answer for it. We live in a totalitarian state. This isn't America anymore. This is something completely different. Our founding fathers are rolling over in their graves right now. They would have been pouring tea in the ocean a long time ago. We went to war for way less than this. And what they're doing is it's subjugating every American citizen unless you're super, super rich or part of the elite class. And all of us, I mean, I'm talking about people making like $500,000 a year or less. You're not rich in California. You're not rich. If you're making $500,000, you're really well off, but this stuff's going to hit you as well. The energy prices, the crime, the disarming you and allowing criminals to get away with whatever they want, giving illegal immigrants everything while you get nothing, and they're taking your tax dollars to do it. All of this is insane. It's all insane. So let's watch this video of this dude sneaking into the Roosevelt Hotel. These are all the people in the intake center. They have an intake center in the hotel, you guys.
It's the Roosevelt Hotel, right? Roosevelt Hotel, right? Yes. Roosevelt. Are you from Senegal? Senegal? Are you from Senegal? No. Where's that? Oh. You're from Senegal? Okay.
we're getting flooded with all these Haitians. Remember the Coast Guard was ordered to allow the Haitians in Florida.
Yeah. Are most people from here from Senegal? Oh, you are. Can I ask you a question real quick? Are you from Senegal? Oh, okay. Where are you from?
He's saying he's getting death stares left and right. Yeah, these guys don't look. So what happens when a bunch of people that aren't from here, don't know our culture, all of a sudden aren't given the things that they are promised by the UN, by whoever's organizing all of this? Yeah, go to America, you'll get free healthcare, you'll get free housing, you'll get a credit card, you'll get meals, you'll get all these things. What happens when all of this stuff runs out? What happens? They're going to be mad, they're going to be angry, and they're going to start taking things from Americans by force. The importance of self-defense and firearms is becoming more and more important every single day.
Oh, okay. And how did you get here? If you don't mind me asking, how did you get here? How do you get to New York? Yeah. No. Airplane to New York? Did you travel over border? Over wall? Border? Mexico? Okay. You came over Mexico? Okay. Did you? No?
Hello?
Excuse me, sir. Where are you from? Where are you from? Huh? Which one? I'm just stepping. Excuse me, sir. Where are you from? Senegal?
Where's all the women and children? And why are these men all in between a certain age range? Where's all the elderly men?
Where are we?
See, so the people running these centers, they know what they're doing. They know what's going on, and they're super secretive about it. They don't want anybody recording. This shit is insane, you guys. The shit that's happening. And so many people don't even know this is happening. So many people are completely clueless. All the normies that aren't paying attention at all, la-ti-da, everything's fine. They are going to be in such a rude awakening when shit hits the fan. Because shit is going to hit the fan, you guys. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. This is unsustainable. Here, let's talk about this. So it's very clear to see that this is the Cloward Piven strategy. What is the Cloward Piven strategy? Cloward Piven strategy is a political strategy outlined in 1966 by American sociologist and political activist Richard Cloward and Frances Fox Piven. It is a strategy of forcing political change leading to societal collapse through orchestrated crisis. The Cloward Piven strategy seeks to hasten the fall of capitalism by overloading the government bureaucracy with a flood of impossible demands, amassing massive unpayable national debt and other methods such as unfettered immigration, thus pushing society into crisis and economic collapse by overwhelming the United States. That is exactly what's happening. It's exactly what's happening. The UN and the federal government, the deep state running the federal government, have implemented the Cloward Piven strategy, and they are actively doing it right now. And it seems that only a handful of people are acknowledging this and are aware of this and can see what's happening. This is an attack on our country. It's an attack on the American way of life. All of this. And it seems like we have no recourse, whatsoever. We just can't do anything about it. And they just keep doing it. And then they lie to us when we call them out on it. And we have no recourse. And what happens when you push and push and push a society to the brink, and then, citizens can't care for themselves anymore? They're going to lose the roof over their head. They're going to have things taken from them while they see people that aren't even supposed to be here given everything. It's going to get violent. And it almost seems like that's what they want. They want us fighting each other, so we're not fighting them. It's this strategy that they're implementing. It benefits them in so many ways. It collapses capitalism. It gives them more congressional seats because illegal immigrants are counted on the census. They are trying to, in California, it's the honor system on your ballot. If you don't have to prove that you're a United States citizen to vote in California, it's just an honor system. You just have to check a box. Yep, I'm a United States citizen. The DMV automatically registers people. You can get some sort of weird ID and weird driver's license through the DMV if you're not here legally. This stuff's insane. It's just absolutely insane what's going on. I just do. Okay. Yeah, it's insane. Casey Martin. Only certain handguns won't fire without a magazine. The Smith & Wesson 4006, for example. I have the Smith & Wesson SDVE9. I actually really like that gun, but you can't fire that one without the magazine in it. I don't think you could do it with the shield either. All handguns have and I don't think that gun's probably not on the roster. The Smith & Wesson 4006. I bet you that gun's not sold in California. There's tons of guns that aren't sold in California. There's a bunch of HK guns. There's a gun called the Jericho that I really like. Can't get it here in California. Handguns have that firing. All handguns I have that fire with the mag installed specifically have that etched in the pistol somewhere. Interesting. Okay, I didn't know that. All right, we'll keep going. Jeez, it's almost an hour already. Oh, it is an hour already. Crap, I'm not even through this first segment. Okay. All right, let's go to this one here. So this is from Rare Imagery over on the X platform. He says, another day, another terrorist caught at the border. This one from the terrorist girl Hezbollah. That might have been a typo. Planned to build a bomb to be set off in New York City. How many terrorists has Biden already let in the country? Okay, that's interesting. So this is from 319.
Border with breaking details. Officials are detaining a man who is claiming to be a Hezbollah terrorist. This 22-year-old man crossed into the U.S. illegally. He is now saying he planned to make a bomb. News Nation correspondent Jorge Ventura joining us live from San Antonio with the latest details. Jorge, what can you tell us?
But Natasha, News Nation has independently confirmed with Customs and Border Patrol sources that Border Patrol officials apprehended a Lebanese man on March 9th who crossed illegally near the El Paso, Texas border. That man being 22-year-old Baso El Badi. He actually made terrorist threats to the El Paso Tactical Terrorism Response Team while in custody. El Badi claimed to be a member of the Iran-backed terror group Hezbollah. And when he was asked what he was doing in the U.S., he replied, "I'm going to try to make a bomb." A CBP source also confirming that Badi was acting in a very confident manner. The New York Post further reporting that the self-proclaimed Hezbollah terrorist told interviewers he had trained with the Iran-backed terror group for 7 years and served as an active member guarding weapons.
So Hezbollah. People from Hezbollah do not like America at all. And with America's ongoing support with what's happening in Gaza, which is unconscionable what's happening in Gaza, if you look at it. No, it's because they got to root out Hamas. All Hamas has to do is surrender. Bullshit. Just bullshit. They are going to take this out on America. No tax dollars should be going funding that shit. And we are just as complicit in what's going on in Gaza as Israel. And we are creating a ton more people that hate us. Even if they rooted out Hamas, even if Hamas did just give up, turn themselves in, all that, everything that's been done in Gaza, do you think there's people that are kids now that aren't going to grow up hating America, hating Israel? They aren't going to create another form of Hamas called something different? This whole thing is idiotic. To me, it looks like a final solution. That's what it looks like to me over in Gaza. I know a ton of you guys don't agree with me on that, and a ton of you, I lose followers every time I talk about it. I don't care. What they're doing in Gaza is unconscionable, and all it's doing is creating more terrorists.
In locations for another group, 4 years. El-Badi also admitted to using a fake name and birthday in several other countries. Federal officials also adding that El-Badi told agents he had plans to head to the state of New York, Natasha.
Jorge Ventura live for us tonight in San Antonio, confirming those details for us. Thank you.
Wide open border. Wide open border. What can you do? Stuff's crazy, man. Stuff is crazy. Let's check back in with the chat here. The RGS, we need to stop funding the world and focus on our issues. 100%. 100%. Yeah. And yeah, 100%. All right, we'll keep going. Danger. Now I'm curious if my MP15 will fire without a magazine in it. I've never tried. I've never tried to just drop one in the chamber without a mag and fire it. I'm pretty sure it will. I'm pretty sure it will. I don't think it does on most handguns though. All right, let's keep going. All right, so Elon Musk reposted this earlier. This is from Western Lensman, and it's. I mean, this seems like kind of a propaganda-ish video, but I mean, everything they say in the video is true, but it has, you know, like production value and it's supposed to be scary, but it is kind of scary. So the video just starts off saying the Democrats' open borders plan to entrench single party rule. All right, let's give this one a watch. It's only about a minute and a half.
The Democrat open borders plan to entrench single party rule, explained in under 2 minutes. 1. Flood the country with untold millions of illegals by land, sea, and air from all over the world, enough to eclipse the populations of 36 individual U.S. states so far. 2. Prioritize the needs of these millions of non-citizens over the needs of the American citizen, with free flights, buses, hotels, meals, and phones, ensuring their loyalty to the political party that imported them. 3. Keep them in the country at all costs, even when they commit violent crime like murder and rape. Attack the language used to describe the criminals, as opposed to the criminals themselves. Slander critics as racist. 4. Ensure their privileges are made irrevocable with city and state sanctuary laws that act as population magnets. Codify permanent status and ensure non-cooperation with ICE. 5. Count the non-citizens in the census that will determine congressional apportionment in the House of Representatives. As of now, that would equal 13 extra congressional districts, a tremendous amount of electoral power. 6. Wage a massive, heavily funded lawfare campaign to change state voting laws that legalize mass mail-in ballots, no signature verification, and no proof of citizenship requirements, making it nearly impossible to prove voter fraud. 7. Lock in the permanent voting majority with campaign promises of lavish benefits and permanent privileges, enshrining generational fealty to the Democrat Party. 8. Win elections. 9. Entrenched single-party rule has been achieved. The best part? Your tax dollars are paying for it.
Spot on. 100% accurate. And here we are 2 weeks after the primary in California. 2 weeks later, and they still only counted 90% of the ballots. What's the most important thing going on the ballots right now for Gavin Newsom? It's that Prop 1. With the no ID and their whole signature verification thing, it allows them to selectively choose what ballots they throw out and what ballots they accept. They can say, oh, this signature looks bad. Republican, in the trash. Independent Party, Libertarian Party, in the trash. Oh, Democrat, signature looks a little bit off. We'll accept it. It's fine. It allows them to do that. Then you have no voter ID and all these mail-in ballots. And for some reason, they're allowed as much time as they want to count the ballots. It's 2 weeks later. They've only counted 90%. That Prop 1 is barely passing. It very much looks like that all they're trying to do is figure out how many fraudulent ballots they need to allow in and how many signatures they need to disqualify people's ballots. This looks like straight up fraud. We don't have elections in California. If we had elections in California, it'd be one day. You'd need ID to vote. There would be no mail-in ballots. You'd have to go to a location to vote, and they would all be counted in the same day. They'd be paper ballots, and there wouldn't be voting machines. All of that is how it's always been done. It's how it's done in countries that have much less technology than we do, much less manpower, they get it done. This is California as well. And they talk about how many millions of people they are and how hard that would be to accomplish. More polling stations. There's plenty of people that will volunteer for it. And it's funny when people apply to work as a poll worker or whatever, a lot of them are just like, no, you know, we got plenty. It's all taken care of. They make sure all the poll workers are Democrats. It's insane. If you go to in-person voting, you can just kind of tell everybody in there is a Democrat, hardcore progressive. We don't have elections in California. California elections, this whole primary should be thrown in the trash. The whole thing, there's no possible way it could be secure. And then they make it so it's virtually impossible to prove something in court. You have to prove fraud in court. You all of these things make fraud more possible, but you have to prove that fraud was actually done to change anything. It's just another way that we have no recourse. We have no recourse whatsoever. We have no voice, and politicians aren't accountable to anything. It drives me crazy. Oh, Terry Wallace, nice to see you. See you in there. All right, let's keep going here. Yeah, I think this is the last one I got for the evening here, folks. Well, so the Supreme Court is they put a stay. The Supreme Court is blocking Supreme Court indefinitely blocks Texas from enforcing immigration law. There's community note on this. It just says the Supreme Court simply extended the original stay pending further order from the court. No decision has been made yet. So the Supreme Court hasn't made a decision, but they've said that Texas can't allow people into their border. But the whole Eagle Pass thing is a giant dog and pony show anyway. I feel like Governor Abbott's in on this whole thing, because if you travel a half mile down the road, there's huge gaps in the border fence where people can just walk right through. It's not secure at all. It's just this giant dog and pony show. It doesn't make any sense what they're doing at Eagle Pass. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get what's going on. But yeah. There's a bunch of California stuff that I wanted to talk about, but I've already gone over. I only wanted to do an hour tonight. So I will be back tomorrow. Hopefully I have a longer show, but I'm just a little black belt tonight, folks, and I got to go get some stuff done before it gets too late in the evening. SCOTUS lifted that stay on the Texas law. They did. So Texas can defend their border. Okay. Must have happened recently in the last few hours. All right. That is all I got tonight, you guys. Casey Martin, the RGS, Terry Wallace, Nate Pickens, Michael Letter, Eric, Danger. Nice to see everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out. And yeah, I'll be back here tomorrow at 6:30. Before we get out of here, you know how we do it, folks. Got to read a joke from the greatest book ever written, The Truth About Chuck Norris. I'm sorry Scarlett didn't come say hi tonight. She's been getting weird. She doesn't want to say hi anymore. I don't know. She doesn't like you guys. I still like you guys though. Okay. All right. You guys ready for the Chuck Norris joke of the evening? Here it is. Once a cobra bit Chuck Norris's leg. After 5 days of excruciating pain, the cobra died. Stay CaliBased.